My nose is going to be particularly runny today because I just got in from a lovely but very chilly walk. It's one of those cool air but very sunshine-filled days. It's very, very nice right now. I just took an hour-long walk through this little nature-y walk area that's pretty close to me, pretty close to my house. And it was marvelous. I felt a lot of really great feelings. I thought some very satisfying thoughts about my life and my emotions and my capabilities and just my general trajectory. I'm walking through, this area, looking at the beautiful skies and trees and water beside me. Even just like small little things like a bench or even a piece of garbage just had this vibration about them that was just different than you usually see it, And I got all up into my head. It's funny, the experience was so great that it actually sent me back into my analytical brain of me just running all these great ideas about how wonderful everything is and how blissful life can truly be if you just allow it to. None of those thoughts were wrong or anything. Like, right or wrong, what does that even mean in terms of your beliefs and your perspectives? But it was back in my head rather than being grounded in the outdoors where I was. And on the way back, I'm walking through. I take a cut through the parking lot of these apartments that are nearby. And as I'm right up in that wonderful starry head, I get the life scared out of me by some barking, and I can't tell where the barking is even coming from. I'm like, there's a dog somewhere, but I don't know where. And my body all filled with adrenaline, it immediately gets wiped out as I just have to laugh at the culprit, which was this little teeny tiny dachshund. Probably like a mini dachshund, maybe a dachshund mix or something, smaller than a usual dachshund. Like, that was the big, ferocious thing that scared me senseless. And it got me thinking about Zen monasteries. There's the classic, and it's somewhat based in truth. I've watched Zen documentaries. It's not just like parables where this happens. But the Zen Master goes around, and sometimes, always without warning, and generally without any conceivable reason why, he goes up to his students with his staff and just smacks them. Maybe on the head, maybe on the body. I've heard rumors that, sometimes the smack is so hard that it actually has killed the person. I don't know if that's true or not. Of all the things that have ever happened, the chance that never happened is probably pretty slim. But that's what it made me think of. This little dachshund coming up to interrupt my little spiritual wax that was going on in my head that makes me feel good, but is just grounded in the world of thought. And can deceive you into thinking that you are as far along in your spiritual, emotional, just personal development journey as you possibly could be. It will literally tell you that sometimes. That wonderful bout of constant flowing thoughts. And the dachshund just came up with his little staff of a voice box and just smacked me right back to where I was. And though it was much less pleasant than the state that I had been in for the past, I don't know, not quite the full hour, but pretty close to it that I had been walking, it was a lot realer. And a lot more grounded in the real world. At least I think. I don't know. That's the great thing also about anything Zen, including the smack with the staff, is that what does it mean? What is it for? They're never going to answer that question. You're never going to get a concise, satisfying explanation in words about what actually that is all about. What any of this is actually about. You just feel it. You just feel it. And I think maybe the last thing that experience taught me is that I mean, I'm still identified with Joe. I'm still identified with this human body, this avatar in this world, because the dog coming up and barking at me got me defensive of Joe. I felt the need to protect him. I had thoughts and a physiological response that said, keep this thing alive. And it's just interesting. It's such an it's such a constant thing that you can become unconscious of it so easily. Your need to defend yourself. When people ask me someday when I'm running my own monastery, what's the greatest quote that I can give them regarding spirituality, I will just say rough.